Good afternoon. We're here with Patrick Cahill from Cahill's Family Pancake House here in Danville, who is the Legacy Small Business of the Year Award winner for the Illinois Small Business Development Center at Danville Area Community College. How you doing this afternoon, Pat?
I'm good, Earl. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. So, man, I'm going to test you with some numbers here. I'm not sure of this. You've been here as long as I've been here, but how many years in business has Cahill's been there?
35 years. My dad started it in 85, so we've been here a while. I took it over back in December of 2014, so I've had it for about 7 years now.
Well, congratulations to you. It's great there, like it was back on your dad. You've taken that legacy and ran with it and marked the award, Legacy of the Year award, right?
Yeah. We're very honored to get the award.
Cool. How many employees do you guys have?
We have 18 employees. Of course, we have the front of house and back of house, some full-time, some part-time. A lot of the employees have been there for many years. People come in, they see the same faces every day, and, that's part of the strength of our business is, we're able to keep all those employees. So,
well, it's wonderful. And in today's market, it's pretty tough to keep people long-term, and if you can do that, it says something about you, the employer. That's wonderful stuff. Good stuff. So for anybody that's not sure of Cahill's, I'm not sure there's anybody in Danville that wouldn't know that, but why don't you kind of talk about what you guys do and your hours and what you have?
Sure. We're open every day, 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Of course, we specialize in breakfast. Pretty much any breakfast you can think of, we serve it. Pancakes, French toast, omelets, skillets. And we also serve lunch as well, and that's something that not everybody knows. But we have different lunch specials every day. Some go on certain days of the week. Fried chicken, Swiss steak, ham and beans, chicken and noodles. So we rotate that out as well. So every day 6 a.m. to 2:30, we're there, and just a local family-owned restaurant for everybody to come in and enjoy themselves.
That's exactly what happens. Exactly, Sundays are a little bit crazy in there in the morning, but anyway, it's good stuff. So what? Okay, your father started that, and so what was your concept of jumping in and doing this business with taking it from there?
I started there when I was 12 years old. And like any kid, I didn't like it very much, but it taught me a lot of things. It taught me how to work. Taught me how to deal with people, communicate with people. It's a great learning experience for when you're young. So after that, after I started there at 12, I actually went away to college. Was gone for a while, and I was actually working in baking, as a mortgage consultant, and they laid off the office there. And, my dad was getting ready to retire at that point, and he asked me if I was interested in it. So I came back to work for my dad at that point, and the rest is history. I enjoyed what I was doing, and I told my dad, this is something I could do for the next 30 years. So.
Right.
It was kind of a timing thing, but I'm really glad it worked out that way, and I really enjoy what I do.
Good, great. You can see that just by the end result of going there to eat. It's wonderful. Quick question: you got family involved with the business at all, as far as anymore, and besides yourself? I mean, your personal family, or
we're to third generation now. I just had a nephew start there. Of course, he's still in school, but he's been bussing tables on Sundays.
Good.
And of course, my wife works there as well. She works there a few days a week, helping out when she's not watching the kids. And then, as far as family goes, they're always there if I need any help, and they have helped me in the past. Help cover shifts if I need and stuff like that.
In that pinch situation, right?
Yeah. So
it's
great to have that support system. We're family oriented, and I hope people get that feel when they come to the restaurant, a nice homey place. It's really nice to have that support system there in place too.
Very nice. Uniqueness as far as your business, you pretty much know what you got.
Yeah, there's a lot of family restaurants and diners out there, but I think when you come to our place, they learn your name. It's a nice homey atmosphere, kid friendly, and of course you're going to get quality food and quality service at the same time. We've been here a long time. We have people who came in as kids and now they're adults and they're bringing in their kids now, and it's just nice to see the next generation coming in and still supporting us and still letting us be a part of the community like that.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, future plans for the business, the future's already been set. Your dad started it. You're rolling with it. You got nephew coming in. Good stuff.
Yeah. Maybe one day in the future, one of my kids will continue it on as well. But that's yet to be determined.
Exactly. But I have a feeling they might be in the restaurant business on the front side, whether they like it or not.
Definitely. They're a little young now, but they'll be working there eventually.
Yeah, I was kind of in the restaurant business in the past, and my boys were definitely involved. So
yeah.
No real option there. Come on, we're going.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we're closed today on a holiday. Well, we're going to go cold patch the parking lot, whatever it might be.
That's
is what
right.
you do, right? As
That's
a business owner. What do you feel the key to your success is?
Well, finding good people and keeping those people, I think, is really important for any small business. We have staff that have been there for years and years that have actually worked there longer than I have.
Well, and that's awesome. That's awesome. I know I go in there and I'll see the people that I'll go, I don't really remember, but then I think dial back into it, and I do remember. And that's going back to when my son was in high school with you and different things like that. I mean, that's fun stuff. What was your reaction when I came in that morning and said, "Hey, Pat, I got to tell you something"?
Well, yeah, I mean, and I was surprised. There's a lot of good small businesses in the area, and of course, I was just honored to be recognized for that. I think I thought back to what my dad did to start the business, and I thought well, this is his award as much as mine because he's the one that started the legacy. But yeah, I was.
You did say that.
Yeah. I'm very honored. There are so many good small businesses in the area that have been here, a long time as well. So I am honored to get the award.
Well, that's great, and it's well deserving to you, buddy. It's definitely for sure. What advice would you have to somebody? You've been in a limited amount of time. You haven't been there for a million years, but like me, I was there for a million years. I'm just teasing. But no, as far as when you're starting a business, what would be the best advice you would give somebody?
I would say, of course, there's a lot of hard work and hours involved, but learn as much as you can from a mentor or whoever you can who's in the industry. I was lucky enough where I grew up in the business. My dad taught me a lot growing up, and when I came back to work, he taught me a lot about the business at that point too. And even outside of your circle, talk to other people that are kind of in the same field. Nobody knows it all, and just learn as much as you can and be open-minded in that regard. Just learn as much as you can about the business, about the industry, and try to get as many mentors and guidance as you can.
Great mentors are key in that situation. I mean, there's nothing quite like owning your business as far as the buzz of, boy, this is phenomenal. When it's going great, it's going great. But boy, it can be tough that day that you don't have people.
Yeah.
Whenever it happens, it's tough.
Yeah, definitely so.
Definitely so. But you got family behind you.
Yeah,
you got the backup plan.
Have a good support system too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Pat. Well, hey, is there anything you want to add to the people that are listening to this podcast to talk about Cahill's? Maybe any future plans or keep it the same?
We're going to kind of continue to do what we're doing. We'll try to continue to be the place that everybody goes to for breakfast here in the county. And, as far as the future goes, maybe one day, 30, 35 years from now, you'll see a different Cahill running the joint. We'll see.
That would be really great to see. I mean, I'm sure you'll keep it running. I know your dad's super proud, so it's a good deal. It's a good deal. Congratulations.
All right.
Pat.
Thank you, Earl. Appreciate it.
With Pat Cahill, the Small Business Legacy Award winner for the SBDC at Danville Area Community College. Good afternoon. We're here this afternoon talking about all the small business awards from the Illinois Small Business Development Center at Danville Area Community College. We had 4 winners this year. We have with us today the actual winner of the Small Business Startup of the Year. His name is Greg Hoover, and he owns Greg's Gun Gallery. Greg, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Good deal. So you were the business startup for last year, 2020, pandemic year, and we started a new business. When I'm advising clients at the college, that's probably one of the things I would say. I wasn't there with you last year, but it's probably one of the things. Let's talk this through. Let's see what you're thinking. But so you've been in business exactly. You started when?
It's actually been a year. Started when would be we signed a lease in March.
Okay.
So that's when we actually had a space. But there's licenses you have to receive from the federal government and also from the state of Illinois. You have to start that process ahead of time. And there's situations where the ATF wants to come in and inspect your area and so on and so forth. And humorously, because of COVID, they did not come and inspect. And they're supposed to do an interview with me on site. And I was the first person in the country to do a phone interview with 2 ATF agents. And I will tell you, it is not easy to get your FFL. They put you on the hot seat, and they do not let up.
Well, doing it virtually has got to be a crazy way of doing it, too. Doesn't add to the fun, I'm sure. Yeah. So why don't you tell people about where your location is?
We're located at 3803 North Vermilion Street. The suite next door to me is Chuck and Clouds. Directly across the street is Carmack's North Lot. So now I've kind of located me.
Okay, right there on Vermilion. We come out of Myers Shopping and work my way up north, and you're on the right-hand side there. So I know exactly where you're at. So there you go. Well, I guess I'm going to start out with a pretty obvious question here is, why did you decide to start the business?
Well, a couple reasons. I really love firearms. I love guns. I love cleaning guns. I love taking guns apart and putting them back together. I love buying guns. I love selling guns. And I had a collection, and it was housed in the dining room of our house. And my wife went through there one day, and she said, no more. She said, no more guns. So I just said, okay, fine, I'll open up a gun shop.
That's awesome. Hey, that's a good reason to do it. I tell you what, really impressed when I walked in to meet you for the first time and had a chance to go in and check it out. You got a lot of different items there. You want to talk about what you carry, or we'll give our podcast public an actual focus on what you have?
So I call it the gallery. I'm showing firearms. I want you to come in and look at what we have, much like I consider firearms artwork. That's what I'm going for with the Greg's Gun Gallery.
Okay.
And the big thing is I wanted a place where people felt comfortable to stop in and look and chat and try different firearms in their hand or talk about them or whatever. And I wanted a very nice shop. I wanted all new. I wanted new everything because I really like having ladies come in. They have questions. They're pretty uncertain about a firearm, and they have a significant other telling them this, this, and this. It's kind of nice when the ladies come in by themselves and they can shop around. Kind of, they can look and try different things, and they don't have anybody pressuring them to say, oh, buy this brand or buy this caliber or whatnot. And also Maggie's there. She also helps with the ladies and then some of the men. And it's just try to make it a fun experience, and it's not the old gun shop of yesteryear where people were sitting around and arguing politics and not even speaking about guns or just that old cliche. It was a men's hangout. It's not that. It's a gallery. I'm showing guns. Come in. I'll show you I'll show you. Put every gun in your hand if you want. If you got that kind of time.
But I tell you what, you walk in there, the cases are shiny. I kind of teach you about how clean the windows were. We talked about that one night, and it's just nice to see. I know that a female hand versus a male hand. Yeah, just because I tell you you're going to need a 9mm or whatever it may be, it doesn't really mean anything until you try it and actually fit it in your hand.
How does it feel in your hand?
Right.
And ladies know best. It's like trying on shoes. You got to try those shoes on. You got to try those pants on.
Right,
Gun is just the same way. It is exactly like that.
No doubt, no doubt. I think it's great you're making a go of that. It's just people ask me all the time about different through the Illinois SBDC, different businesses they're thinking about, and I'm thinking, you think them through, and maybe they make sense, maybe they don't make sense, and hopefully they do make sense, so we can keep the tax money coming for the state. But by the same token, you want to look at the piece of, the gun shop is really, I think it's a great hobby. I think it's, my family was all into hunting and doing all the different things with guns, and so it hits my passion real quickly. And I think anybody that maybe has never done that and never had the chance to do it could actually go into your place and actually try it out. That's a great deal to be able to touch them and feel them and go from there.
It's an experience, and one of the things that's happened in current years is shooting is fun. I learned to shoot in the Boy Scouts. It was fun. We're putting holes in paper targets. Right. That's what it's about, is fun. It's not about anything other than that. And you can just enjoy yourself. It's a situation of subtle adjustments, and you can hit that bullseye, or you can shoot that really far distance, or you can shoot really fast, or you can try so many different disciplines. There's something for everyone.
That's great. That's great for sure. We pretty much know what your what's unique about your business to be able to do that. You can't go to an average box store and do that. You can't even. I
would venture to say most box stores, the attendant there doesn't even know how to take the firearm apart. That's critical when you're buying a firearm. You might want to know how to clean it.
And it's funny you say that. And I have, family. We had some family pistols from my family, and my parents left for me and stuff. And I probably need to come up and see and just about, hey, how do we clean this the right way?
Yep,
that's the only safe way to shoot it. Yep. if you know what I'm saying. If you have it clean, I would go from there. What's your reaction when I came walking in that night and we said, how you doing? I'm Earl. I'm from the Danville Area Community College, and you've won a Small Business of the Year award. What was that? What was your thought?
I was shocked. I was like, say what? And then I was overjoyed. It was so nice to be recognized. And I was flattered and I was honored. It was really nice.
No, it's good stuff. It's good stuff, and I think you'll have a successful business there because you're looking at it the right way. You're doing it the right way. And I mentioned, it's funny, I mentioned the windows being spotless, but that means something. That really, if you have a business that you have that kind of, you feel that way about and keeping it perfect, there's nothing better than that. So, what advice would you give on someone else starting a new business? What would you say to them?
I would say do it. And I would stop with the hesitation.
Uh-huh.
You're going to learn as you go. Make lots of mistakes, a lot of mistakes, and learn from them. Pay others to do what you cannot. I don't even know anything about a website. I pay somebody. I don't know anything about accounting. I pay an accountant. I don't know anything about legal. I have an attorney. I don't know anything about insurance. I have an insurance policy. The other thing, get rid of all of the garbage that's in your way. Stop cutting your grass. Pay for it. You don't have time to cut your grass. Pay. It will motivate you to another level because you're there at the business. You're working. You know you have to make money. I know I have to make money. My grass guy passed me as I was coming to the station today. So I got to make money to pay him. So, it motivates you when you realize you have these responsibilities.
Smart comments. Tell you what, jumping into a business and trying to do it all yourself is a pretty scary proposition. No one's got a ton of money sitting in a bank somewhere. Let's go start a business. But by the same token, if you don't have somebody to help you with those things, you can really get in trouble real quickly. So that's great, especially when it comes to the legal aspect or the accounting aspect. You think you're making money, but you're really not because you don't know. Very, very smart advice. I love it. What else would you like to tell people on the air? You got the air. What would you like to tell them about anything at all about your business? maybe your hours, or kind of go over how you do that, or whatever you'd like to say.
Give me just a moment to look at my notes here. Sorry.
No problem.
So the unique thing about the business is I find guns, no matter how odd, no matter how strange. Tell me, I will find it. I try to stock guns that nobody else has. I don't care what Rule King stocks because I don't stock what Rule King stocks. I have revolvers. A lot of people don't even know what a revolver is or how it even operates. It's interesting when people come in and they just stare at them.
Exactly.
I have semi-automatic, they're not full automatic, machine guns. People don't stock those. I have military surplus rifles and pistols. Tell me what you're interested. I will try to find it. I have searched for some really strange stuff, and I have found some interesting guns, but it's just fun for me to be on the hunt. And, it's always nice when people come in, you say, hey, well, what are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for this. Well, I write their name and phone number down, and, when I get time, I try to find it for them. So
Right.
that's, it's just a good way to meet people and get contacts. And, it's more than just the same bland price comparison. That's what it has really come down to at a lot of places. It's cheaper to buy, just for a name, the Glock at this store versus this store. All you're doing is price shopping. At that point, you stop caring about the firearm that you're even interested in. You're just price shopping. So
Right.
what I have is like, whoa, I've never seen that kind of gun before. What is it? That's what I like. That's what I love to hear. So
That's very unique. I tell you what, there's a lot of stuff out there. If you never saw it, you'd never know it.
Yeah.
And that, when you come into your place, they can actually check it out. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. What else could we have to talk about this afternoon? Anything else you'd like to tell as far as your story? I think you've got a great story, and I think it's you're working hard at it, and you're doing the right things to be successful as a business owner. I mean, small business is just not always easy. It's not like what people think it is. It's very much, and I love your advice when it comes to talking about getting someone to mow your yard. That's a great point.
Just be done with it.
I
I've sold my
probably didn't do
mower.
enough of that.
My mower is sold to a friend of mine, so I'm highly motivated never to mow again.
Yeah, if you get rid of it, you're pretty much done
But-
deal when it comes to that.
But it's a lot of hours, but you're enjoying it. It's not like going to your job that you have disliked for many years, and it's not
Right.
like that. And some of it is your level of maturity. I don't dislike the job I have, but I wanted to do this also. So it's fun for me. It's
Well, you've definitely taken a hobby and turned it into a business, and it's a viable business. That's even better. That's something fun. You got to be, if you're going to be in business, you got to put it behind something you're excited to do. So,
Yeah.
Congratulations to you and your wife Maggie, who helps out part time. That's good stuff. Thank you very much.
Greatly appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. We'll talk soon. Good afternoon. How we doing, guys?
Doing well. Crazy week, obviously, with the balloons coming up, but doing very well.
That's good to hear. Well, we're here today to announce the Small Business Award winners. I'm sitting here with the Entrepreneurs of the Year, two partners of the Vermilion River Beer Company. Let's start out with, why don't you say a little bit about yourselves and what you've been doing at the business?
Well, I'm Robbie Black. Spent the last 30 years being a heating and air conditioning contractor. Still am. Owner of Blackie's Heating and Cooling. And Pete and I have talked about multiple times over the years opening a bar. That concept's changed dramatically over the years. And 2 years ago, almost to the day, we finally got one opened.
Yeah. And so I moved here in 96 in downtown development, which really has kind of come full circle, however many years later, in that I went from downtown development to the Palmer Arena for 20 years and and now I'm at the Library Foundation. But my entire existence, career-wise, has been focused on the downtown, and I think that's coming from when I first moved here. So as we developed this concept, we picked up some partners along the way. I should mention Rob and I are 2 of 5 partners. So the other 3, they really wanted to be here. They couldn't be here today, but we picked up some partners over the years. But in developing this, for me at least, it was always a downtown location. When we finally kind of identified what was going to transpire, it was always downtown. And I think Rob agrees that what we did would not have succeeded in a different type of location. So
Sounds great. It's a phenomenal scenario to go down there on a Friday night, walk by the front, see the music playing in the background. You guys are involved with that too.
yeah, I mean, and then that was part of it. Honestly, I mean, we watched Summer Sounds grow. I mean, it's weird because I was there to start Summer Sounds in '97. And then I drifted away from it, and I guess, and Rob was never a part of the DDI board, now is a very active member of the DDI board. And so we've watched Summer Sounds kind of grow from, 4 people sitting in a grass lot having a can of beer to, a couple, 1,000 people on a Friday night. And it became more and more obvious to us that an opportunity was there for us to work with.
It's a great situation, great downtown. Being with the Small Business Development Center out at DACC, it just makes all the sense in the world to talk about those kind of situations when people want to go out there and try it, and we'll go on from there. So you've been there for a couple of years now. How many employees you guys have?
Rob? Unbeknownst to Rob, we actually have 15 employees. And I got to tell you, I can guarantee you that neither one of us anticipated that volume of staff. But one, we've grown our hours. We weren't open on Sundays. Everything about it has changed over a very short period of time. And, we need we'll have an extra bar back on Friday nights. And so, we've gone to 15 employees. I just never saw that coming. Never.
And you can kind of tell by the kind of employees you have. They really care. They really want to take care of that guest, and they do everything they can to do that. So it's really, you can tell they enjoy working there too. So it's very nice. When did you decide to start you talked about starting when you first moved to town and wanted to do a bar over time, maybe having a couple of beers in the field. That's the good stuff. But when did you actually decide that was the spot you wanted to do and that was the place you wanted to be?
Well, for me, it was the fact that I bought a big giant building in the downtown.
Okay.
And it became apparent there was one space out of the 3 spaces that seemed to struggle with occupancy. I just couldn't seem to keep a tenant in that space, and so it's the emptiness of the space really sort of, helped inspire the, kind of a necessity.
So you made yourself a tenant. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
For me, I did. I'm not sure that the other partners are happy that I did that.
Well, I think I know for me, and I think for the other guys, you had this built-in large market every Friday night. So you almost had a guarantee, you at least guaranteed people saw you were there and open the first Friday you were open. And that just was like, okay, there we go. There's all these people here. They're down here to have a good time. Some of them are going to stay after the Summer Sounds. Some of them are going to wander in. So it just made it, there was one less hurdle to go over to get the bar open and get word out that we were there. And then on top of that, the space was the kind of space that I wanted to be involved with. It was open enough that we could do what we wanted, but it was still this old building and had enough of its original character and features that were still usable that we were going to have a space that had the feel we wanted.
And a revitalization of that building is awesome. That's it's such a pretty place inside. What do you want to tell people about the business if maybe they haven't been there? What would be something they would see that they are not used to seeing?
Well, I mean, obviously, Rob alluded to the architecture, and somebody came in early on when we were starting the process of this space, and I had a friend of mine in the industry come in, and the first thing he looked at was the tin ceiling that happened to be intact. And so from a design perspective, he said, if you do this right, you take care of that tin roof, this will literally be the kind of thing that people will come in and pull out their phone and take a picture of a tin ceiling. And that stuck with us in that regard of trying to keep the character of the building itself, the architectural, the natural features. So that's, from a design perspective, the first thing that people will notice. And then obviously, from a product side, it was all about being completely different than other offerings in town. So, we pride ourselves on not only the selection of product in specializing in craft beers, but we focus very proactively on beers from Illinois, or as Rob puts it, within a day's drive from here. And so we try very hard to keep that selection true to that sort of that definition. I mean, we have Guinness on tap because Guinness is fantastic, but we try to have a good selection and try to celebrate the beers of Illinois and surrounding states. So I think that's probably the thing that we aspire to do the most that people will notice is just a different offering. Not in any way, shape, or form better, just different. And it had to be different because everybody else was doing it and doing it well. They didn't need one more person trying to
Do the same thing,
Yeah.
sure. Just gotcha. Tell us about your app. You've got a really cool app I can pull up on my phone. Would you tell me a little bit about that?
Is that one the digital
Digital
pour?
pour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
digital pour. It's really a cool concept. Why don't you tell people what that is? They may have never seen that.
Well, I'll hit the basics. Pete will probably correct me where I'm wrong because he's the one who has to update it and everything else all the time. But basics is you can download the digital pour app. It will bring us up along with all kinds of other bars. I think we're the only one, last time I looked, like within 100 miles using it. But you can see what we have on tap. You can see what we have in the hole ready to come on tap. Tells you kind of how much of something is left, in the existing keg that's tapped. It's just it is really cool. You can see right there on your phone everything we have. And are we listing the cans and bottles now too?
We do.
Yeah, I'll let you.
Well, and when you have a menu that's 100 plus beers at times, including what's in the coolers and what's on tap, it becomes it's hard to keep up with this one menu board to actually choose what you want.
It's an arduous task, for
So,
sure.
Yeah, so for people to come in and be able to pull up the app on their phone and see what's available, it's much more user friendly. It's easy to do. It's free, and as Rob said, it's interactive. So when something new, we kind of advertise what's on DACC, and then when it actually gets tapped, it actually messages people that we've just tapped, orange and blue or what have you.
It's a very cool concept. I first learned about it in depth and detail when my family was down there. We popped in to see you, and we told you won the award that night. I think it was somebody's birthday weekend, but anyways, go beyond that. But one of our friends we were talking to, he's talking about he's going to law school now in Indiana, and said, hey, I think we need to buy you a beer because, you're going to law school. It's a great deal. And he pulls out his phone, goes through your actual scope. He knew which 3 he wanted to try. So I think that's really cool concept. What a way to connect with the 20-somethings, I should say.
Yeah, it does. It keeps us, it broadens your connections to even when you're not, they're not physically in your business, you're keeping in touch with a customer base. And, we're always just trying to, we're never going to be alone. We're never going to be like the only ones that do something. We just aspire to be first and sort of pioneers in new ideas, when it comes to our place. And so, honestly, I'm sure other bars will have that app, and good for them. We just wanted to kind of be there first and test market it, so to speak.
That's one of your keys to success for sure. What was the actual reaction, or how'd you feel when we heard, hey, we're entrepreneurs of the year? What did you originally think?
Yeah, I mean, in my head, I was trying to spell it.
It's a lot.
E-N-T. But I don't think Rob or I ever expected to receive. We were just hoping to stay in the room.
Yeah.
I mean, we just wanted to stay alive, and and that was before a pandemic. We just were hoping to do well enough to keep the doors open. So we never really thought about recognition. I mean, I don't know who does per se, but to be acknowledged. I mean, and I'll give and Rob should speak on this too, but for me to be acknowledged in this regard, wow. I mean, it sort of legitimizes that maybe you're onto something, I mean, we did do something right. And, trust me, every day is guesswork. I don't care what, we think we're 99% sure, but we're never 100% sure of our moves. And so this really sort of validates a lot of what we did.
A lot of moving the chess players in the right direction.
Yeah,
Robbie, what's your thoughts?
Well, I say after that initial thought of, hey, Pete, who did you bribe? Or a pretty shallow pool we're in, I guess. After getting over that, then it was just nice. It surprised me because, like Pete said, never even thought about that as, never was accolades or recognition our goal.
The nominations came out, and it's phenomenal.
Just kind of humbled that someone took the time to nominate us.
Yeah.
And, so it, like Pete said, it just kind of reaffirms the fact that, okay, we got something right. Which we just our guts, what led us the whole way through. And,
true entrepreneurial spirit is what I would
Yeah.
say. We know you can't spell it. No, just teasing. but no, it's a true. It's one of the ones. Every time I write an email out about the award and your award, I have to take a moment to. Should I spell that right? That's just kind of definitely how it works. The entrepreneurial spirit, the coffee in the lobby, brilliant piece you're doing there. The actual Loving Cup out, the actual food truck outside. Those are all entrepreneurial ideas and different entrepreneurs you're working with. It's just a really cool deal.
I think Rob and I, and this probably has paid us back, but Rob and I have spent the majority of our professional careers involved in the community. And so in one way, one shape, one way or another, we've been involved in the community. And as we've done this venture, a sense of community is what we really wanted to bring to this. And so it was, when we talk about the business plan of slowing down and having a conversation over a beer that you're not going to just, drink in, 5 minutes. That lends itself to that sense of community. And so bringing in Love and Cup and bringing in the Obsidian Coffee and bringing in the local artists that decorate our walls, I mean, all of that stuff lends itself to a sense of community that I like to think, has been instilled in Rob and I because of Danville and Vermilion County.
That's awesome, guys. That's awesome for sure. I'll throw one more out here. I got a question. What advice would you guys give? And Robbie, you've been in the heating and cooling business with your family and in the past and all that. What advice would you give to somebody that's calling on the phone at the Illinois Small Business Development Center at Danville Area Community College? What advice would you give somebody that wants to start a small business? What's the most important piece you can think of?
Well, the most important thing is you better have a passion for it.
Exactly.
Because once you're starting out, when you're starting out, your resources are normally, usually they're pretty limited, and if they're not, then you're risking a big pile of money. You're risking a big pile of money you already had on something that may not work. So you better be passionate, because there's going to be a lot of days where you're putting in a lot of hours and you're not getting paid.
Right.
You got to
take
pay
your
everybody else
paycheck last,
first,
right? Yeah,
and so you better really want to do this, because there's no way. I mean, it's not worth it if you're just thinking, well, I just want to be my own boss, and you're picking something that you don't have a passion for in any way. You're just going to be miserable. Even if it succeeds, you're going to be miserable.
Spot on advice from Rob. How about, what do you have, Pete?
Well, to kind of piggyback onto what Rob's talking about, you have to throw yourself into this, and I kind of alluded to the idea that if you aren't the best part of your business, you as the owner are not the best part of your business, you really need to take a pause and think, am I about to do this? Right. Because if there is no sort of belief in yourself, it's really not going anywhere. So it's the passion that Rob's alluding to, but it needs to exude in you as the owner. And I think that's where Rob, I've talked about how, we know the owners of these local businesses through networking and what have you, but also because they make it a point to be the best part of their business. They make it a point to put themselves out there and be the face of their business. And, and those are the people we know, and those are very successful businesses. And we emulate that. We want to emulate that and be the best part of the business is the people itself, Rob and I as owners, and of course the staff that has helped us get there. So for me, it's the drive within, but also what you kind of exude on the outside. You need to be able to see that passion that Rob's talking about, and I think that's what my point to that is.
Exactly. Well, small business is a wonderful way to go. It's very rewarding. There's peaks and valleys with anything, and as you guys have felt, as we all have felt over the years, it's definitely well worth it. Definitely. Congratulations, guys! Entrepreneurs of the Year. I mean, that's just awesome stuff for you and the partners, and we'll continue this trek as we get into next year and see how you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and as speaking for me, I'm completely humbled by it. So.
Good. Anything else we want to add about our business for the people that are listening to this podcast?
Not really. No.
Yeah, I think it speaks for itself. If you have a chance to get down there and check out Vermilion River Beer Company, please do.
More to come.
There you go. More to come down the road. That's great to hear. Exciting news. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, Joe. How you doing?
Good afternoon, Earl. I'm great. Good to be here.
Good to see you. I actually want to just announce to everybody in this podcast about you are the winner of the Small Business of the Year for Vermilion County, for us, for the SBDC at Danville Area Community College. You've known about this for a while, but now we're having a chance to do a podcast on it.
Well, I'm very excited. I feel really good about it, and our people are very proud of what's going on. I'm glad somebody's paying attention.
Yeah, it's always a good feeling. You're a business owner. That's for sure.
It really is. Obviously, you see the numbers and you see the customers and all that, but we've worked hard to get where we're at and to improve our store. And Rawhide we're just continue to upgrade and make things better as fast as we can.
Unbelievable, that new sign you have out front. Boy, that is, as people go down Vermilion, you better hope they're staying straight in the road, not looking twice, right?
I appreciate it. The sign's been a long time coming. It was just one of those things that it was always, I needed new refrigeration. I needed new display cases. I needed a floor. I needed ceilings. I needed lights. we finally got around to the sign. So
It's beautiful.
yeah,
Looks great.
a good friend of mine made the sign, and Rob Lancaster here locally put it up for us. So
Good deal.
we're impressed with it. We're very proud of it.
That's a standout factor. It looks really nice. It really does.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the business itself. How many years have you been in business? Give me a little
I
rundown.
really don't know the history before me of that much. I bought the business in 2016 from local gentleman Larry Whitaker. I'd known Larry for quite a long time. He was a brother-in-law of a good friend of mine, and we'd gone on fishing trips up to Minnesota, and so
Nice.
I knew the store. I moved to Danville, Illinois, and opened up Hawkeye Foods in 1995.
Right.
So then Hawkeye got sold, and after 35 years with the company, it was like, well, sorry, we don't need you anymore. They closed the local facility down. So, I was kind of looking for something to do. I worked locally here for a little bit, and a friend of mine actually was opening up chicken restaurants over in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And I'm originally from Iowa City, Iowa.
Okay.
But I went over there, and I spent a year. I told him I'd give him a year, and I was running two of his Popeyes restaurants, one in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, one in Waterloo, Iowa. And I told him I'd stay until we opened the second restaurant and then see what was going on. And, I had an apartment over there. My wife was here in town. I got home,
Not easy.
maybe every 6 or 7 weeks. So, I spent a year doing it, and it just wasn't for me. And fortunately or unfortunately, Larry got sick. And so he was looking for a buyer, and I was one of the first people they thought of. So,
With your background in food, total sense. Sure.
well, yeah, I mean, I've worked around distribution to restaurants my entire life, and I was a sales rep and spent many, many years, calling on restaurants, and so I had a pretty extensive background, at least in the commercial food or the restaurant end of it. So this was kind of a pretty good fit for me.
It makes sense. Makes total sense. It's a great scenario. You've done a ton of remodeling. It's a whole different place, and it's just, your employees, they have pride. How many employees do you have?
It varies. We need some right now. If you're looking for a job, please come and see us. We're struggling right now, and every business is struggling to keep staffed up. But typically, we would have around 10 employees.
Okay.
And we're struggling a little bit, but everybody is right now.
For sure.
We started remodeling the business immediately. We replaced all of the display cases, all of the freezers and refrigeration. Every piece of refrigeration in that store, in the front of that store, is new.
It shows. It shows
Everything.
when you go in there.
Yeah.
Whoever
And
has
unfortunately, I've had bad luck with compressors. So most of the compressors are new also behind the scenes. But
I remember those days in the restaurant business myself. Yeah, compressors or something about the hot summer heat doesn't help, for sure. What made you? You wanted to start your own business. You wanted to do this. I mean, just what do you like about being a business owner?
Well, first of all, I'd pretty much run my own facility since, for a long time. I'd kind of been my own boss. Right. I was fortunate to have great leaders back in Iowa and when I worked for Hawkeye, and they trusted me, and they pretty much gave me, my will to do things. If it was something big, I'd make a phone call, but I really was struggling working for somebody else after
you always treated it as your own, right?
Well, I did,
Yeah.
And I ran it like it was my business, and so that's what I'm doing here,
Good deal. Good deal. It's pretty obvious. There's some pride in that when you walk in the door. You could see that for sure. Any future plans or changes with the business? I mean, you've done a lot already.
Well, the inside's done, the sign's done. Now I need to work on the outside. So at some point, we're going to be probably contacting an architect. And, the outside really needs some help. It previously was a lumber yard, from what I was told. It was a liquor store at one time. I mean,
Okay.
it had many different lives, but it's actually two buildings. There's a block building out front. Then there's a really shabbily kind of a Quonset hut steel building in back.
Gotcha.
It needs some attention. We got to put a roof on it. Eventually, I would like the front of the building to look like, I don't know, in the days of Gunsmoke, the rawhide theme with maybe the old saloon
Be
front.
awesome. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I got that in my mind. We'll see what happens. But, we as far as expansion or anything like that, I think we're pretty much where we need to be.
I agree. I think you're doing a great job.
If I was 30 years younger, maybe we would be thinking of that. But right now, I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, I know the feeling on that one, buddy. For sure. What was your reaction when I came pounding on the door and said, "Hey, where's Joe? And I need to tell him something. He's won an award." What was your first thought?
Again, first of all, I don't know. You never know because you got your head in the trenches. Are people paying attention? Are people seeing what we're trying to do there? And I was very excited to find that we did win the award. I actually used the SBA when I started my business. So, I counted on them to help me, make some of the steps and some of the progress to where I am now. So,
Great.
it felt good that you guys remembered me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome for sure. So what do you think for the people out there that want to start a business? What do you think? What would be what advice would you give to that person who want to start a business?
It's terribly difficult in this day and age with dealing with taxes and finances and, trying to get a grub stake to get going. The bottom line is you need to save your money.
Exactly.
And if you want to own a business, you got to have some capital somewhere. Even the people with the best ideas got to have money behind them somewhere. So for the young person, that's the number one thing is, save your pennies and have something to be able to put together when the time comes.
Smart advice for sure. I can remember that just like when you actually buy that business for the first time, that Adam's apple you thought you had in your neck kind of gets real big real quick.
Well, let's put it this way. My house used to be paid for.
Know the feeling, sir. I know the feeling.
It no longer is, but, you need to do what you do to get into business.
Yeah, exactly. Great advice. So I'm here speaking with Joe Vincent from the Rawhide Meat Company that's right on North Vermillion downtown, and coming out of downtown, it's right there. If you haven't been in there, you got to see the new cases, all the different things he's done. It's just a wonderful scenario, great brand new sign up front, and Illinois Small Business Development Center at Danville Area Community Colleges wants to congratulate you.
Thank you. And let's not forget the reason where we're at is because of the quality meat that we do serve. We do not let any beef into our building that is not USDA choice or above.
It's a whole different piece than your basic grocery store.
There's a lot of stuff running around. Every week I get solicited for companies that I deal with wanting to sell me beef from Mexico. And I could buy it for half the price of what I'm paying for beef now. Mm-hmm. But we will not waver. Even during the pandemic, if we could not buy a USDA choice product, and even the meat we grind for our ground beef is USDA choice or better. So, we put our foot down, and during the pandemic when things were tough to get, if we couldn't get USDA choice, then we didn't buy it.
Well, I don't, you got to set that standard, and you had the standard for the meat. I mean, it's like no one else. People got to get out there and try it, and when you actually cook that steak on the grill, they'll realize why it tastes the way it does.
And that's what's going to differentiate us from someone else, is that you're going to be assured that the quality is going to be as good as we can buy, that you can afford to pay for it. We could be throwing Wagyu and Prime and all that stuff around, but the average person isn't going to spend that kind of money to put on their table. So we buy as good as we can buy that still keeps it affordable for the consumer.
Exactly. Affordability is the key, and it's nothing like that Sunday you could be proud of pulling that meat out of the refrigerator as you walk to the grill, and you know what you're going to be grilling. So
exactly.
Good stuff.
Exactly. Stuff. And I want to thank all the tasty critters that gave their lives for us to be where we are today.
Okay. There you go. Anything else, Joe?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, hey, great talking to you as always, and have a great day. And again, Joe Vincent, Small Business Development Center at Danville Area Community College. Definitely taking care of the state of Illinois in all aspects. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.